can't eat when you can't go how to dress, I like decent. I see you for the pieces, see you just like me, there's no more way.
How's it going, Laneway? How you doing? My name's Dominic Fike. I'm so happy to be here in Australia. It's been a long time since I've been in Australia, like 5 years since I've been in Australia. I like you guys a lot, man. I've been walking around Brisbane. It reminds me of home. It reminds me of Florida. It's very humid. It's a lot of beautiful people here. Everyone's really nice. That's me. Check it out. So why am I cut up? Why is it? Why I gotta be over there? You guys are all over here. I'll come over here too. Anyway, I was a little nervous. It's been a second since I've been on stage. But I'm excited to get into it. I want to shake some of these nerves out. So let's just get straight into it. Is that cool? Well, I am happy to be here and I love you guys. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing up for Steve Lacy. But I'm here. Ready?
She slid me 4 times. I was in the whip before I knew it. Don't cry when I feel frustration. Slow down. Don't cry when I see my location. She slid me 4 times. I was in the whip before I knew it. Don't cry.
It's cooling down. How's everybody doing? We all good? Everybody hydrated? Everybody hydrated a little bit? That's good, man. Me too. Alright, this next one's a fun one. I made this with an old guy. Ready? Yeah.
Well, the kiss of Venus has got me on the road. She scored a bullseye in the early morning glow. Then I asked her, have you read the paper? There's people talking about inside the taking. And if you know that baby would still take on it, does it make you wanna leave?
So I can be a little closer. I feel like I'm supposed to be right there. Am I wrong about that? I don't know. It just feels weird. I'm not roasting anybody on the stage. I'm just saying, I feel a disconnect. What's up, you guys? How you feeling? For real, you feel good? Me too, man. Let me get into it a little bit more. All right.
Station. looking for somebody different, cause my daddy was a pimp. My mama had an issue, but I miss her anyway. And please don't call me for the wrong reason. We both know exactly what I'm thinking. Waste months and I never grow tired, cause I never say never and I barely ever. I'm on the road, with a bitch in the place. In outer space, I need to make it up, but you can light it up the phone. Oh no, and I can take you with me if you really wanna know.
pop song, I was with these bald guys. I was with a couple bald guys by the name of Stargate. And they're bald and they're cool guys, man. Old Swedish dudes. Nice guys, very bald. Anyway. Hey, who here has a mullet, by the way? I feel like a bunch of y'all have mullets, am I wrong? I really thought that was gonna get a huge reaction when I asked that. I thought it was gonna be like 70 of you guys like, fuck yeah! But it's all good, don't worry about it. Anyway, I made this song with these bald guys, and they put it in a movie. It's called Spider-Man. And this is the song. You ready for this shit? Because it's quite the pop song. How you guys doing, front row? How you feeling? Let's do this shit. No mullets. Last chance on the mullet chant.
You can't turn the radio down, and you can't think of anyone else. Love is when you're trying to make it out alive, but you can't turn the radio down, and you can't think of anyone else. I see your face in the television paintings, on the laser, hear your voice in the streets and the TV stations, and the police. Look at those strings on my wrist, I don't need these faces. Of all the things that she keeps in pages, I'm a lace's favorite. She said I was happy to hear me on the weekends, and all I wanted was apologies about it to do. Over my heels and falling on my hair, girl. All of my girls are already dead. And if I could provide it for you, if you could provide me you, what I felt before I felt for you, I do.
watching True Detective. It's cool, it's good. True Detective's good. Puts me in a weird mood. I rolled up here thinking about murder. solving murder cases. But yeah, weird vibe. Anyway, it took me a while to shake that off. So now I'm back. I'm no longer thinking about that, and I'm ready to play this show. Okay, ready? You know, speaking of playing this show, I'm gonna let you guys do this one. Ready? Yeah. Hell yeah. Love you too. That was great. Come on, man. Hell yeah. What are we doing? This next one's an old one. It's a good one though. I was actually listening to these demos the other day, man. These demos are good. I made these demos. Came out here back in 2019 because I made these demos when I was on house arrest. I went to jail and then I got out and I came here to Australia because you guys were just the first people on me. I don't know why you guys find all this cool shit. You know, here I am. I owe a big part of my success to you guys. So I was listening to that the other day just to kind of reminisce on it. The fact that I did a world tour with like 6 songs out, pretty fucking nuts, dude. And now I'm here. I put out, what, 2 more albums? So 4 more songs. And I'm gonna play you one of them.
If all you want If all you want is heartache, yeah, sit back and ride away, ride away. Oh, relax, don't hide away, hide away. Go the place you get on. Look, so I gotta get the money too. I got 3 to protect, I need the money to treat. Like what you need this money for? You gotta raise it for me to come home. 'Cause I can't wait around for you, no. I won't wait for you. If all you want is heartache, I gotta get away from you. If all you
Brisbane, how we feeling?
If all you want is heartache, if all you want,
Thank you so much.
We love you!
Thank you so much. Here's another one. This is actually my favorite one to perform. Alright, so yeah, another one off these demo tapes, man. This was the coolest one. This might have been the one I started with, to be honest with you. I remember when I made this song, I was in my drug dealer's fucking mother's kitchen. And she was making these weird, like, thick tortillas. They call like arepas or something. They're mad good. But she kept telling me to shut the fuck up when I was making this song. It was so loud. You ready to hear it?
I used to push out verses on purpose and if you wanted the bunches then you went to anything. I don't know if the time is coming to an end. I hope my bed is not together. Don't you go running for it. You tell the world why you're
Rap song I wrote with a very tall guy named Kenny Beats. Did not think that would get a round of applause, but I'll take it. Kenny will take it. Woo, shit. Alright. I'm out of shape, man. Oh, the exercise. Y'all ready to sing a song?
I got rich so goddamn fast, they want this break, can't catch a breeze. I don't got no time, I hate them staring at your face. If no time, it ain't we just good. That's all I'm on, it's always trying to see my hand from my family. Not having a life, trying to get shit thrown out this case. That's all 110 days to see my parents say this is you talking about.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm so sweaty right now, dude. Ooh, this is a good one. This next one's a good one. Okay. Did I do right? Yeah, right. Oh, fair. Yeah. I'll do it for the last one. I'll do it. Alright, this next one's called Superstar Shit. You love the things that sculpture, whispers open, and that's all it takes. How hard it was to sit alone in here. Watch a movie on your phone for real. Is this how I'm supposed to feel? And say each time you said love, I felt like it could have called me something else, but I couldn't think of nothing else for real. 'Cause it was hard to do.
I try to force my smile. Force my smile, but I can't. And the days don't, oh, the days don't end. I used to laugh, sing, have the same old friends. The nights feel but then the days don't end. And I don't know what to do. And say so. She walked out the door with that look on my face and she turned me away and I'm walking away and the nights feel but then the days don't end.
get out of your hair, right?
No!
Give me one more.
No!
Thank you for walking with me all night. It's been a good 45 minutes. It's been a fantastic 45 minutes. I know how long it's been because you get paid for a certain amount of time.
What?
Not that I was counting, just, they informed me beforehand. Anyway,
What?
I've had a good time. I love you guys. I love Australia. I think it's fucking sick. I would literally live here. I would. I don't know why I don't, actually. When I think of an answer, I'll get back to you. Why don't I live here? Why don't we have a place here, huh? You should get a place here. I have the money. Tell you what, man. You know what I really like here? The food. I think you guys got better meats, and you guys have like laws about it, I've eaten a ribeye every day, two a day since I've been here. I haven't gained a pound. Look at this guy. Fuck yeah. Rock on, brother. Alright, this is the last song, so I really want you guys to get fucking wild, because that's why you came here, right? That's why the sun went down, that's why it's cool. That's why I'm here. That's why I broke Steve Lacey's kneecaps and he's not coming out tonight on the final fucking act. Don't worry about it. If you know the song, sing along to the song. Yeah, right. You think I'm some kind of pervert?
Oh shit, the lady with the long hair, the long hair, she went straight to my guitar neck in my blonde hair. I like the vibes with my lady's time. I remember when I asked her why we can make movies apart. Don't go long and take a shit from other bosses and all your boyfriends. I guess I get surprised when you live this life. And it's so busy, so fine.
This one I want you to really jump up and down. Don't hurt each other. Drink water. Not now, maybe later, maybe after this part. But I want you to get fucking crazy, alright? Deal? Deal?